Here we go to match point. 3DB versus 3D Cat. It is a clan war. And B currently having 1 point up on the board in this best of 3, looking to get the victory. Of course, this tournament's very unique. It's a round robin. Everybody gets to play a little bit of everybody. So you're going to see these players in some awesome matchups. And we're covering games today that aren't on the main channel. So this couldn't be a series that we could miss. So I hope you're enjoying it today. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, leave me a comment and some love, and let's get into this. Thank you to Bourbon for the subscription on Twitch, by the way. And we got a hype train. Oh. Okay, now this is Cat's home map. He just lost the previous one. He picked Highview. Now Highview is one of the most popular roost maps out there. We've got wolves everywhere. We've got stealth forest. You're gonna have lots of scouts. It's just a great map for the roost. Now we see him opening up with his hunting cabin. On the other side though, B playing as the English. English is just always a good all-around civilization. I don't think there's very many bad spots you can be in playing as the English. They're gonna be nice. Yeah, let's absolutely get some worker counts here for the start. Yeah, if there's everything you want to see at the top of the screen while we're doing the live stream, shout it out. I'll try to show it to you. I like to flip between the two, but to be completely honest, when I'm doing the solo show, I get busy casting something that's going on, and then I forget to turn it back to resources per minute, which everybody wants to see. I wish we could set a timer to just like rotate between every few seconds. That would be like really poggers. Now look at this greedy opening for B. Look at this. He went all the way down here for the boar. Now, this is something that's been getting more popular. People going for these huntables early on in the Dark Age. I mean, that's not a close walk. Look at this. You wouldn't do this in days of old, right? You'd have 3 roost scouts over here killing your villagers, right? That's part of, you know, you got to remember that's part of why this was never very popular is it used to be like scouts would just straight up kill your villagers. But B, going to be getting a massive food boom. Let's look at this food per minute he's getting. I guess it's only just now. It's going to be kind of hard to see because they gather all the board and they drop it off or whatever. It's going to catch up. But anyways, that's gonna be a nice opening for him, a good food source to tap into. Not to mention, since he's killed that boar, he's denied it from the roost. How much bounty will Cat be able to get? Will it be a Kremlin or will, yeah, there it is. Don't even ask this question. It's gonna be guarding the gold, gonna be guarding the deer for him. So it's gonna be a defensive Kremlin option there. And that's kind of the stage that's going to be set here for today. Okay, so let's see what this bounty ends up being. I should have been maybe looking at the deer a little more closely. He definitely got these two. What? Man, this deer better be thanking his lucky stars. Gets to live today, but unfortunately, his whole deer family has been slaughtered. Oh, man. This reminds me of one of those Disney movies I watched when I was a kid. What was it, Bambi? Oh my word. Okay, let's take a look at that. Let's get a little bit of a bounty count. How much bounty was he able to get? I gotta change perspective. 315 bounty, that's good. Now he didn't get 500, but 315, that's good. He's in that tier 2 bounty, which is just, that's pretty much your goal every game as the Roost, at least to start in the second age, getting that tier 2 bounty. So that's gonna be good. Okay, the council hall being built by B. Now B! Now, a council hall in the middle of the map, redefining the meta. This is like those early, if any of you guys watch like the early Age of Empires 4, like low-hanging fruit, like build orders, it's like how to win Age of Empires 4 in 10 seconds. Pick the English, build a forward council hall, win the game. Like that's what it was when Age of Empires 4 like beta first came out. You guys remember that? Okay, so we got a forward council hall. Of course, if Cat sees that and he knows there's villagers there as well, you're likely going to see this Kremlin spawning the Kremlin gremlins right away, but he's going to have longbows here to defend is what I'm thinking he's going for. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if he spawns those up. He also might not, just knowing the fact that like, okay, B's going to have longbows to defend. I'm not going to waste them right now. Maybe even send them over here to the gold or something like that. But let's see if he does it. Does he spawn out the Kremlin? Gremlins, not seeing any right now. Okay, and a stable immediately dropped down. Yeah, a knight here would cause some big problems. So B is going to need to get a barracks fast if he wants to be able to defend these villagers, because you know a knight's going to be on the way. He's still seeing what's going on. He can see that. He doesn't see any barracks yet. Of course, we've got B actually picking up wheelbarrow right now here at the beginning of the feudal age. Cat finishing his stable. Let's see if he queues up one of those knights. I think he's going to. Let's see. Does he go for a horseman just for the speed? Probably be a knight. He's training that, but I'm not seeing anything trained up yet. There we go. Just now training on Knight. Just about 5 minutes and 5 seconds. And we got that barracks being trained, but Cat kind of knows the timeline on that. That barracks still being built. We do see some longbows coming in. Scouts chasing around the map, and a little bit of a wall segment being dropped down by B. Well, taking maybe the long route around the woods. Okay, so he's going to have some longbows, going to be trying to get some hardened spearmen. Of course, for the English, they don't need to upgrade their spearmen. Most civilizations, like that's part of like those night timings, it could be very good because you have to train and upgrade your spearmen. But the English don't have to because they've got the Dark Age man arms. They have hardened spearmen when they hit the next stage. Scout, he's just trying to keep that scout alive, running away right now from the Roost Scouts. B continuing to gather gold. We see house being dropped down back at home. Spearman just sitting right in the middle of that boar. At least one thing about when you're gathering a boar, your villagers are very concentrated in one area, so he can just like follow. He could like put palings and spearmen all around this. So there's a knight, but what will it be able to do will be the question. Does he go for maybe a pick on the? Look at this, B using those palings to just defend his gold from any type of knight raid. So it kind of feels like B is defending this really well, kind of anticipates knowing, okay, my opponent saw this. He's, one step ahead. Okay, they're going to answer with a stable or something. So let's get some spearmen, let's get some palings out, be ready to defend. And now we see a blacksmith being dropped down for the English, going to be going for some of those military techs. Cat coming around right now with a scout, not going to be able to do anything with that. That boar continuing to be gathered. Look at that resources per minute coming in. That food just so good. It's insulting when you see English gathering the boar when you're Roost. Because you're like, they've already got insane farms, right? They don't need the boar. And he's taking the boar too. It's crazy. Cat is going with a second town center. So it's going to be a 2 town center build out of Cat. Going to add in an additional stable. So he's going to kind of run around, try to do some raiding. Now, B seems to be really committing into his military techs. He did go for a blacksmith early on. Now, will he continue just to turtle it up as we see English do a lot of times? Or will there be a point where he decides to go for some kind of ram push against something like, I don't know, a forward town center? Now, the Kremlin is there to help defend this pretty well. Yeah. At this point, we're going to have to see kind of how this plays out. 2 stables, so he's going to be trying to just raid his opponent, outraid his opponent as they're running around. I mean, he could dive into this wood line right now, perhaps continuing to scout around with his scout. He built this palisade wall just to defend this, thinking ahead. And a nice spot as he's now moved back to, he took the the dangerous boar, and now he can protect the deer. Now, if Cat gets any type of advantage in this game, he can easily take out, this council hall and this barracks. If he wins one military fight, that stuff's going to be donezo. So B cannot afford to get behind on military in this game. And you can see he's actually quite ahead as we see a scout go down right now, just keeping that intel. I'm not entirely sure that B has scouted the second town center. Well, he probably saw this. I think he saw the stone, so that probably was his indication that there's a second TC somewhere out there. You'd be expecting it to be down here by the boar, or I guess by this deer, which is where he actually has it. Okay, both players really just sitting back and booming right now. Not a lot of military action. We do see some longbows coming across the middle part of the map right now. But we'll see what happens. Longbows, I lied. Military action. He walks right through the middle. B's taking a lot of heat, though, from the Kremlin in the town center. Kind of a weird spot. A drive-by, he loses 1, 2, 3, 4 units just walking through the middle there. I don't know if it was some kind of like power play to bring the Rus army back, but he's going right back to the wood line. Just, whoa, it seems like B's battery on his mouse died for a second. That's a very questionable move. Maybe he moved him across the map, heard the ping, thought it was the town center, didn't expect it to be a Kremlin as well, but you gotta think he knew that. But at the same time, Cat's able to get some raids on these English villagers. Now, that's gonna hurt. One villager goes down. Can he get a second one? It looks like he's going to. And losing a lot of his units over here. He's got a little bit of a surround though on this town center. But Cat gonna be in a pretty strong position with these raids. He's actually idled all those deer. He could just park those knights there for now if he wants to. Wow. Okay. B, with a questionable drive by. He told his men to march through, and they're like, "Are you sure, sir? Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, do it." And boy, that looked like it really hurt. That Kremlin laid down lots of shots on his army. Cat continuing to take advantage of those deer. And B has this kind of split army running all over the map. And you see another villager getting picked off. That's for a total of, I guess he's gotten 4 villagers is what we see there. Might have missed one of them earlier. The knight does go down. He does spearmen to defend. And, you know, at this point, I would say, okay, advantage Cat. Cat is in a strong spot. He's picked off a few vills. He's on 2 town centers. Military-wise, he's just kind of giving B the runaround. But recall game number 1. We thought Cat had game number 1 in the bag, and B was able to go, wow, and pop out and win that one. So I'm not calling anything this early. Cat right now adding some archers into the mix-up to complement his knights. Now, after these deer run out, he's got a deer expansion not far to the south. Pretty nice there. I'd almost like to see like an English tower here, just like to get the line of sight and anticipate like this is coming. And not to mention he'd get that attack boost. But for right now, B spending all of his resources. You can see him micring all over the map, splitting his opponent's army, and he's so good at doing this. You see the archers losing to the longbows, spearmen defending, and that's going to be a 1 fight for B. It looks like on the front line, several knights going down, and you know, just like I said, as soon as you think Cat's really in a strong position, B's cleaned up a lot of the army on this map. He's stabilized. He's getting his deer back at home, and I think he's going to be bringing some pressure towards Cat as, look at this, whole army chasing him. Okay, we see the spearman numbers decreasing, and when the spearmen go down, those knights are going to be able to just clean up the rest. Actually, that's 1 horseman. Oh, he killed the knight, actually, but what a scrappy little fight, but it does look like Cat's going to be coming out ahead on this one. At the same time, B pushing towards the front of the base. Will Cat be able to defend as these longbows push in? He's also adding in some man-at-arms for meat shield. He's also getting his man-at-arms upgrade. Look at his military techs. He's got all of his blacksmith techs, kind of similar to what we saw in the last game. Cat currently finishing up that first deer patch, moving down to the south. You see he's added in a blacksmith of his own. Going to start getting some upgrades and building a wooden fortress to defend his position. Going to be a smart move there. Will B go for rams or something is what I kind of wonder. Okay, grabbing the bloomery. I don't think there's any rams quite yet. Spearman going to be going down there on the east side. B going to wall in his deer so he's protected from raids. Okay, so look at these villager numbers right now. Cat really in a strong spot now. We've seen this position before, right? In the previous game, B was definitely down on the villagers. But if you lose your army and then you've got all your villagers idled, being killed, etc., it doesn't matter how much of an eco lead you have. Okay, but this wooden fortress is going to be really doing a good job at defending. Villagers are idled, but we see knights coming across the middle of the map. Could pick off some of these longbows and man-at-arms, not to mention, could run into that wood line, and that would be big problems for B. We see the first 9 man-at-arms pretty much picked off for free. More man-at-arms trying to tank on the front line, but not doing a very good job. They still don't have their attack upgrades, still training. Oh my gosh, he was trying to build this wall and it didn't get it finished. Villagers under fire. He does have his textiles, but we see villagers dying, more vills dying, knights doing a good job of... what the... That knight got stuck in the house. It looks like he got stuck in the house, but at the same time, B's pushing on his side, going to try to pick off his vills. 1 vill goes down, so going to try to counter raid and distract Cat from attacking his base. He's able to use his longbows to clean up the rest of the archers. That knight does go down. A villager coming forward right now. He's going to be building a tower somewhere, but where is the question? Longbows and spearmen chasing into the main base. I think Cat's kind of thinking, can I get a surround on this? Can I wipe out this main English mass? Especially at home, he's got units spawning. He's got tower shooting. This is a good spot to take a fight. Kremlin Gremlin's coming out right now, and I think he's going to stick this fight. Those Kremlin militia are going to be tanking. We see knights charging in. The spearman count's really low right now. Archers continuing just to try to pick off the rest of the spearmen, and now those knights are going to push forward, and B is probably going to be in a bit of a tricky situation. He's trying to kite back, kill as much as he can. The knights just now starting to chase the longbows, but he's got enough of them that you can see they do a considerable amount of damage to those knights, but I think at the end, it looks like Cat's going to be able to clean up the rest of these forces, and that's what we're seeing right now as those numbers go down. B taking some significant military losses, and when you're down this far on economy, and then you lose your military advantage, this really puts this game in Cat's hands. So B can't be very happy with this engagement. We see behind this, he has finished his wall, going to be going out to the deer, but he's going to have to overcome that villager deficit. He still has a decent military count. You see him building a lot of man-at-arms. You see 10 man-at-arms here actually right now with his longbows. You're not really seeing the spearmen anymore since that Rus archer count has been growing. He's trying to negate the power of those archers. So Cat just having won that fight, you can see he's got what, 1,000 gold in the bank. Not only is he where is he? What's he doing? Gathering the gold. You know, he's getting the gold from these buildings and stuff like that, the hunting cabin. But I think he's gonna be trying to age up is what I anticipate. He might also be scared to age up. Think of that last game where he's like, I got this, time to age up, and then it kind of bit him, right? It didn't go so well. So he's going to play this a little safer. We see actually this palisade wall being built, protecting his expansions to the east side. Maybe even a wall segment here. We could see next, just trying to funnel that English army towards the middle. And this is a map definitely where walling really helps just because of the stealth forest. It's easy to sneak around and get a raid. But speaking of sneaking, Cat gets on by, picks off a villager, and is going to back off. But he knows what B's army, he sees, okay, lots of man-arms, longbows, I mean, kind of expected. But, yeah, now we see this archer sitting in base. He's also got some scouts. I wonder if he's just trying to get some line of sight on the map. Yeah, look at this. You can kind of see I would like to see him maybe put one of these scouts just like down here in a stealth forest or here, just to like get some line of sight, what's going on. He's adding more walls in right now. He just wants to know where the English army is. Now, the English are very good at rebooming, right? They're military. You think you wiped them out and then boom, boom, boom. They've pumped out some more longbows and suddenly here they come again. And that's what we're seeing here. Look at the military count. I'm having memories of the last game. He has just boomed back and going to be putting up a big push. I feel like at this point, if Cat can hold this one, I mean, look at that villager count. He's really getting ahead now. This could be major. So let's see what happens here with this fight. Wall's not really complete. Longbow's going to move down the south side. He knows there's villagers down here. Let's see what he's able to do. Knight's kind of sitting idly. Would like to see him maybe picking off some units or going for villager raids, but sitting right now as the English army is looking to push. Okay, so we've got the knights coming across mid, picking off some longbows, but B knows where the knights are, and that's his signal to push, 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 and that's what we're going to see. Heading down the south side, villagers inside there, but, I mean, he's got what? 11 man-at-arms there, but at the same time, villagers getting raided on the back line. How's he going to stop this in his base? He doesn't really have any way to do that. 15 villagers already inside the town center. These villagers are going to have to run, and it's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Yes, I know, I'm great. And B is going to be taking down, this is going to be 8 villagers dead inside of there, bringing this villager count down to 70, assuming he's able to pick all this off. But we've got an attack on the English base. This is actually a favorable trade for B. The Knight's not doing a ton of damage. Yeah, he got like a villager there, but he's drawing a lot of idle time. But the problem is all these villagers that are going to die down here to the south side. Yep, and we see that happen. In addition to taking out that hunting cabin, it's going to be some eco damage as well, and you see those villagers dying. Okay, so this is a good trade for B. He needs several more of these, quite frankly, but he's pushed his opponent off of this gold down to the south. I guess he didn't want to go for this forward gold. I mean, that is... What is the gold spot? Oh, he had this gold, but he finished all of it because he's been buying all his knights. And, you know, for a moment, I kind of thought Cat might try to age up, but now he spent his gold. He spent his gold, and now he really doesn't have access to a safe gold down here on the south side, forcing him all the way out here to the east. He did build this wall, but I would not be surprised if B just walks around it as we've already seen before. But here we go. Kremlin Gremlins have been spawned. Here comes that Rus army. Military count is very similar. So we see some palings drop down on the front line of his army as he's going to use those longbows to kite back, which the longbows actually are able to take out a lot of those Kremlin Gremlins, aren't able to get a whole lot of value there other than just tanking some shots. And here comes another raiding force. This is what B likes to do. But there we go. Knights charging in. If he can pick off the spearmen, this would be a great fight for his knights, but there's lots of man-arms in there tanking. It's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on in this engagement as they're underneath the trees. But yeah, we'll do our best. Meanwhile, it looks like that front line is falling. Those knights are going to finish off the rest of longbows and going to be an unfavorable trade here for B. But B looking to just try to push in on this north side to say, where is he gathering gold? Let's press it. And we actually see another 8 villagers have come down to the south to the boar. So B has definitely been losing a lot of army, but every time he comes in here, he picks off a few villagers and he distracts the Rus longer while, you know, he's getting his farm set up. And English behind on villagers, but he's like, whatever. I got my food and my wood. He's going to make more. He can still win with his guerrilla tactics, right? He doesn't need the financing of a strong empire. Okay, right now we see those knights charging in a lot of idle villagers. There are 24 villagers right now. That's pretty much half of his economy for the most part. And he's going to be trying to kill those knights now. Knights going down. Villagers actually turning to fight in this engagement. And Cat saying enough is enough. He's trying to finish this gap. Going to try to close off that wall completely. So B definitely having some odd engagements there in the early stages of the game, has continued to fight where many players might have tapped out. In some of these engagements, we've seen 2 complete wipes of B's army so far. B going to be pushing down towards the south side with his longbows, as we've got spearmen chasing up to the north of his knights. He probably wishes he had some walls of his own. It is definitely more than 80. No, he's got the tier 2 bounty. I think he's still at tier 2. I don't want to pop out at this point because in the later stages, sometimes it'll spoil if the game ends up ending. So I think he's still on that tier 2 bounty because B was able to kill this boar. So I assume that's going to be a tier 2 bounty still. Okay, right now we see B moving out to the berries. Knights charging middle. It seems like B has kind of been dealing with these night raids decently. I think the scouting has helped him a lot when these happen. Cat has basically built up his defense here, finally. And we see oh my gosh, you might think he's an age up. A 3rd town center. Man, this is the most Age of Empire-y thing for you to ever see. What do you do when you get ahead? If you're foolish like me, you're like, I'm winning, I'm making rams, I'm gonna go take out my opponent. But if you're really smart and you're patient, like Cat, you just add in some more town centers. So he's ahead decisively on the villagers. He knows that because he's seen his opponent only has 1 town center and he's gotten some decent raids. So what's he do? He adds a 3rd town center into the mix. So 3 TCs, also starting to make a farm transition here. He's setting himself up for a pretty much great success into the later stages of this game. You see him adding some more military as well. But for B, at the same time, when he was kind of at a disadvantage on army count, as you can see, he's given B time to get his act together. Because if he had been pressuring, I'm not sure B would have been able to pull off this King's Palace. So now B will have a 2nd town center. He'll actually beat his opponent to the castle age and give him some opportunity, perhaps do a little something something. I'll be interested to see if he goes for this ironclad upgrade right away. Not yet. Going to upgrade his longbows first. He needs to get some gold, of course. But this puts him on 2 TCs. That's basically a town center. Going to be picking off another villager. Pretty much once you see those English farms set up, you just know you can just send a knight in there anytime and probably pick off a villager. Okay, and he sees my opponent's aged up. I am pushing, and there it is. Man-arms are not upgraded yet. Knights, though, on top of them. And here comes Cat. Cat on 3 TC behind this push. B going to be kiting back. Longbow upgrades just now coming in as he kites. Knights were killed on the backline. Did the man-at-arms survive, or did he kill all of them? You can see he's trying to kill them. Only 4 left as the upgrades are just now coming in. Now they're the man-at-arms. And boy, here come the knights. Can the longbow kiting save B in this situation? If he can somehow hold this fight, I feel like there's some miraculous way he can pull this game off. He is fighting underneath of a English town center. They've got the attack speed boost, of course, from the network of castles. Oh, if he can get around that wall, get a quick wall off here, he could perhaps do something. Is he able to pull it off? Longbows get through the wall. He does not do a quick wall, so they're still going to come around the side, but he gets all the way back to that. And largely, all things considered, this has been a good defense from B. He's in a weird situation. Yes, he's losing a few villagers, losing some man-arms, but he's got them upgraded. They've got some better stats. Just now working on that ironclad. And for Cat, he needs to get to the next age right now. Don't mess around. Don't give B the opportunity to get back in this game because this push was failed. Pretty crazy. You know, all that, the longbows, getting that veteran upgrade, and the kiting, honestly, that wall just being super clutch at the right time in that fight, was able to defend him. And while that town center was shooting at his squishy army that whole time. And now look at the numbers, you know, it's still definitely going in Cat's advantage, but B is really starting to get these techs. You see those tier 2 techs coming in. We see Armor Clad coming in, and he could start to really take advantage of the tankiness of those man-arms. Now, it was smart of Cat to pick this off, but look at those longbows, even able to deal with knights, which is not something you want happening. Trading a knight to a longbow. Look at that. They're not even reaching him. Okay, we see the longbows continuing to pick off the knights now that he's got pretty much a nice critical mass of them. And Cat's army dwindling a little bit to this longbow. He can't really get within distance, and now those man-arms going to be so tanky. Look at that. They have +6 armor, ranged armor, and melee armor. I'm sorry, 7. I don't know how to do math, obviously. Abbey of the Trinity being dropped down right now for the Roost, so there it is. He's going to be looking to grab those relics. B, walling up in the middle of the map. Has he actually... Oh, he's walked Cat into the corner. I was wondering if he's going to kill him, but doesn't look like it. You know, doing all this casting of Cat has reminded me of, like, did you guys ever play Cat and Mouse on, like, Age of Mythology or whatever? I loved playing that game mode. It was so much fun. It was not unsimilar to this, building random walls and running all over the map. Not Factual, thank you so much for the 3 months resub. I really appreciate your support of our stream. There we go, a little... Oh, he chopped around the edge. So cheeky. Use that villager. Villager is the #1 thing to kill a wall when it's next to the woods. Maybe that could change someday, but I don't know. I think they could just require the tree to actually be gathered, I guess. Would at least slow it down. Cat reaching the castle age. Of course, I mean, a pretty decisive villager lead, but right now, B has the tech lead, the military technologies, and he's trying to use that to his advantage. If he can take out a lot of this Roost army and then start to get in here and whittle away at these Roost villagers, and that could be very, very big. And we see right now they've reached the gates of the Roost base. Longbows are there. Man-arms are just going to be hard to deal with. He needs to basically get either some crossbows. I would say stealthy, but like that's not coming anytime soon. And these man-arms are going to be really the thorn in his side right now. You can see villagers trying to be picked off. Will he add in some rams or some kind of siege here? Or maybe even the fabled English trebuchet? Some things you might wonder. Okay, B, cornered but definitely not out of this, was able to sneak up into the castle age here and pull off a defense as the Roost answered with an attack. And now it's looking like B's gonna stand a chance here. This is the power of the English. You just can't leave him alive. You can't trust him at any moment. Let's be honest. You cannot trust him. Okay, here comes that Roost army charging forward as some of those techs coming in, picking off some of those reinforcements from B as we speak. Okay, what's Cat's next move going to be? He's walled mid-map, going to try to get some of these relics, but we see B's doing a good job of picking them up. Look at this. Did he train 3 monks? Is that what we're seeing right now? Yeah, because he was bringing in 3 at once. He's not messing around, really wants to get those relics. But here we go, big engagement. We see Cat actually sticking this now that he's got his veteran upgrades. The Knight's able to do a better job on the front line, dealing with the man-arms on the back, and the longbow's continuing to kite. I don't know who's going to win this fight necessarily. The longbow's going to keep moving back. Yeah, just every time they do that, boom, a knight's going down, archer's going down, etc., etc. Yeah, a forward tower would certainly help B quite a bit because he would get that attack boost. But he's just trying to take out those knight numbers. And I feel like he's just trying to drag this out. I mean, don't forget, like, this English farming scale. So, like, he's sitting on 25% bonus right now. Now, Cat doing pretty good on his food per minute. I mean, look at that, 2,300. I mean, he's at 146 villagers right now. You would think on paper this should be easy for Cat at this moment, but B just doesn't care. He keeps pushing, keeps fighting, and is going to be relentless. We see a wooden fortress being dropped down right now for Cat. Giving him some line of sight. A keep is ready to be dropped for the Roost. Where does he decide to put it will be the question. I'm almost thinking he needs to consider... I mean, maybe if he could drop one there, it'd be amazing, but I don't know if he could defend it with all his longbows. Okay, we see Cat charging forward, horsemen and knights. Man-arms have just been tanking. It's been nothing but man-arms and longbows. That's been B's unit composition entirely this game, except for, I guess, some spearmen earlier on. And yes, 4 relics now in the bank for B. That's going to help his gold per minute. We see Cat pushing forward. And yeah, pushing off of this gold, going to be a nice little attack there. If he could kill some of his military production, it'd be great, but I think those longbows are just going to keep kiting back and picking off more units. This is going to be a hard fight for him to stick. You see him realizing, he says, I'm not getting sucked into that trap again. He's not going into that English base. You don't really want that to happen. Villagers getting their shivs out. They are not looking to convert to whatever religion the English are trying to sell them right now. I'd assume at this point they're probably both Catholics at this era. I don't know. Okay, we've got Cat. He went all the way back. He was scared of the English, kited all the way back to his base, and that's going to be a defensive keep on top of the gold there. Cat pushing around to the north side, watching out, trying to get a raid. Sitting on 150 villagers. That's remarkable. High armory going up right now for Cat, heading up to the 4th age. Perhaps Streltsy can help deal with these man-arms threat, but when you're making Streltsy, longbows can pick them off. That's the really frustrating thing about this matchup. Okay, we see he's gotten that relic despite everything. Is he? I was wondering if he's going to try to go for a Wololo. That'd be so cheeky. Cat using the horseman to go for a raid, pushing villagers off of the farms. Now, this will put Cat in a strong position if he can get some of these Imperial Age techs, can do something with this. So we see the knights running around, longbows chasing. He hits the Imperial Age, and he is able to stop that relic, walk right past the keep. There's that high armory, so I think you might just see some rams start spewing out here, because the rams, they're going to be good against longbows. And generally, you see him getting some upgrades. B's actually getting a spearman upgrade now. I think he knows those knights are becoming a bigger threat. And double time and elite upgrades coming in. So some Streltsy likely going to be going into the mix here as we see Cat starting to push. And this could be where Cat really starts to use his economy to his advantage. I mean, look at that. Look at the bank right now. He could just start spewing units across the field. I think he needs some siege to start breaking away at some of these barracks. Archers continuing to fight. We've got like engagements on like 4 different fronts. Tower shooting at each other there. A sacred site going to be captured there for Cat. Going to be taken away from B. Now look at some of the army value and the destruction value. Like, this is how B's been able to do this. He's been trading more efficiently despite having less villagers and less army for a good portion of this game. Look at this fight right now, just soaking up all those archers. But the thing is, Cat is on full military pop. So he doesn't want the archers now. He wants to trade them up for Streltsy most likely. But you say that, look at that military count there. Maybe that overbooming of villagers is going to start to bite him, because that's a lot of man-at-arms charging towards his base. 26 man-at-arms. I mean, a few Streltsy ain't going to do the trick. He's adding horsemen, though, on the front line. Elite horsemen, so those will be tanking against those longbow shots. Streltsy going to the front line, trying to pick off some man-at-arms is what we're seeing. And just look at the military production. Cat is trying to spend his resources, but B is just cleaning up that army faster than he can throw it down. An age behind. English doesn't care. Going to be slapping down a tower, and now B is pushing. This is crazy. 106 army pushing. Look at all the longbows. He's got, what, 64 longbows? Making rams. He says, forget your Streltsy. I've got rams, I got longbows, I got everything I need. And like I mentioned, Streltsy, I mean, they've got the +3 armor for range, but they don't have any additional ranged armor. These longbows can easily pick them off, and that is great value when you consider, you know, the cost of a Streltsy. And yeah, he's gonna start working on that town center. It looks like first man-arms. Also, look how quickly they're taking that down. The ram hasn't even touched it yet. He's just sitting here, taking out horsemen in the middle. Oh my gosh, big shots coming in. Longbows continuing to attack the Streltsy, and we see them going down. Horsemen just jammed in there, not able to get. They're not able to get coverage. They're just kind of stuck there. And B, an age behind, doesn't care, keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. Cat breaks through to the large gold vein. B's got 2k gold in the bank. Don't forget, he's got 4 relics as well. And now it's looking like the Streltsy are finally starting to take effect. If he takes out a lot of his man-arms and start to push back the other way, he's going to be in a good spot. Another keep being dropped down. That's a second defensive keep, but the tower is shooting at the villagers during all this. Honestly, it just gives him more pop space. He actually needs to build a house. So B, really stuck that fight, jammed all his units in there, but he's fighting underneath, you know, all of the military production of the Rus and the fact that the Rus is in the 4th age and just was able to overwhelm that attack force. Now we see a keep coming down. It's looking like Cat might be able to hold this. B still in the 3rd age. We'll need more food to age up. It looks like maybe, yeah, he's working on it, but as longbows continue to fight, he's actually stopping this keep for now. 150 villagers. Now gold could be the thing. Like if he could just like whittle them down, if he could stop this gold, that would be massive, right? Like this gold's still there, but it's like, it's almost like B's just trying to like just wait until that gold runs out. He's just going to keep throwing units until that runs out. And of course he's got the network of castles buff right now, and all of his units fighting here. Streltsy trying to do something. And the man-arms are just considerably less effective right now as those Streltsy upgrades have come in. I feel like cutting off the gold would be maybe B's best chance at this point, as, I mean, Cat has chewed through his resources. Granted, he's got a lot in production, but like he did chew through a lot of his bank. Pretty crazy considering how many builders he's had. Looks like that keep is going to be deleted. The Streltsy count, though, continuing to climb. Also adding some archers and horsemen in to deal with that. And there's that high armory. I kind of wonder if we would just see some rams go over here and start poking at his base. Would be something that could be damaging. But Cat still kind of pinned down despite all this. I feel like B, again, look at this. About like over a 10k difference of trading value, right? He's been behind but been able to trade so efficiently. Okay, we see the Streltsy pushing up along with this horseman. Trying to kill, well, actually these are shooting at the tower. That's less than ideal. You can't help but think what a Mangonel would do against this mostly longbow army. But he's continuing just to throw units at this, spinning that bank. B just continuing to trade. Look at all the gold he's got. He's fine, whatever. I'm just going to wear my opponent down, wait till he runs out of resources. Kite's back, and of course when you're kiting against English are going to win that fight in most scenarios just because those longbows. I mean, I feel like this fight is like, this non-stop back and forth fight has been going on for like 20 minutes at this point, maybe even longer. And we see B, or Cat, building a keep, looking to go after that next gold. He kind of knows. He's like, okay, let's get the, I think he's going to go for that gold and then come back to here, perhaps. But look at the bank. B staying in the 3rd age, just showing you the power of the English. So freaking strong. He's been able to take on this Imperial Age Rus army pretty much no problem. You would think these were even forces for the most case, but it's just been the sheer numbers that B's been able to keep out on the battlefield. How is this going to end? How is it going to end? I always feel like English has the pure advantage in the later stages of the game just because of their farming and gold extraction from their farms, etc. It's been curious that B actually hasn't gone for some raids on this. Look at this. He's actually building some wooden fortresses now, continuing to try to... Wait, he can even see it. He knows this is happening. I think he just can't afford to do this. Yeah, if he suddenly just like shifts his army north, that could be a problem. But B hasn't walled the middle of the map. And that could bite him in the later stages of this game if Cat starts running around. But we got a Berkshire Palace being dropped down. Where is he building that? Okay, near his farms on the south side. That'll be a good defensive spot. Basically, that'll defend this like entire corner of the map. The Berkshire Palace is freaking crazy. B aging up after just a prolonged battle. I mean, we're about the 40-minute mark, and B is still in the Castle Age. This is crazy. And if he's been able to hold off Cat while staying in the Castle Age, I can only imagine once some of these Imperial techs start kicking in. But Cat finally going for some raids. I thought I expected we might see this a little sooner, but there we go. That Berkshire Palace is going to deal with any type of horseman activity over here. And be immediately going for those enclosures for his farms, so that his farms will generate gold for him. And the longbow is going to basically just deal with those raids. In the middle, though, it's like, what? Streltsy aren't going to just like waltz into this. He needs something to take out some of this production. He hasn't made any siege up till now, but he did build 2 siege workshops. I still feel like mangonels could be quite effective, but the gold just isn't there, which makes me think like, okay, just send like a ram or 2 and just poke at the bear. I don't know. Trying to basically strip mine all this gold right now is what we're seeing. Keep is up. And now B's got some Imperial Techs coming in. He's going for those incendiary arrows, not to mention the arrow volley. This is going to be massive, as these longbows have had no problem dealing with this Rus composition up till now. I just feel like the longbows trading for Streltsy is not going to be good for Cat in the long run. He needs to maybe have some mangonels. Is the only thing I can think, like, is what he has to have to deal with this. Streltsy are going to lose to longbow in the long run, and now they're even. Like, they had the advantage before, but now those upgrades coming in, B is going to be sitting in a very strong position. And just thinking about, I mean, if you were here at the start of this game, it's unbelievable to think about the fact that B has stayed alive in this. I think most players would have resigned when they had their entire army wiped twice in the feudal age, and B has been down on villagers by a significant count the entire game and has continued to fight. This has been crazy. Horseman going for raids. B looking like he's positioning to finally go for a significant assault. We see a keep being dropped down. It looks like Cat was trying to drop a keep, but that's not going to get done. And boy, oh boy, I wonder if we'll see some Trebs or something out of B here soon. Again, look at this. This has told the story of this game. This has been just B microing his army and his macro as well of longbows. He's just traded so wildly efficiently that he's been able to overcome his economic difficulties. And now we see B pushing up, taking out a few villagers, and stopping a keep once again. And B grabbing more stone. I think he might even try to drop a keep there. And at that point, I mean, Cat hasn't really been able to break his line for like 25, 30 minutes. B's been able to hang on. The power of these longbows. And look at this. They can just one-shot anything they want at this point. And that's what you're seeing. He's going to continue to try to work on that keep, but B is not going to allow to get this up. And I mean... I'd hate to call it early, but it looks like B is going to somehow pull off a victory this game, which is just crazy. Imagine imagine when Cat pulls up the villager graph after this game and see the amount of lead he had economically and was unable to overcome these this English army. Is just crazy, but it's also a testament of just how strong of a civilization English can be, not to mention in the hands of a player that never ever stops microing at any point during the game. And these trades are just definitely going to haunt. Again, a keep being dropped down, but this is going to be another abandoned keep. He's not going to be able to finish it. That might be a doubt keep, you might call it. And we've got the gold running around on the north side. He does have this one secured, but kind of that's a really risky spot to go for it. It's been honestly surprising that B has just allowed him to chill on the north and gather the gold. He either just doesn't care and says whatever, or just needs these troops in the middle. But he has not tried to raid these at all while they've been gathering during this game. Okay, Cat did build a trebuchet. I think he might be going for this keep, but we do see, look at that, a cannon emplacement coming in right now for the English. Almost a 45-minute game right now. This has been an amazing, I guess, a match point if B is able to pull this off. But man, what a series! I would love to watch these two players play a best of 5. Certainly, been very interested to see this, how these have played out. Okay, B going to be pulling his villagers into the town center as we've got to raid Streltsy and Horsemen. But I feel like this is just going to be like the death of this Streltsy death ball. By the way, 10k food in the bank for Cat. He's spending all his resources just trying to figure out where can I get some value. Maybe I can idle some villagers, but B's got the food. He can be idled for now. Yeah, this is a very awkward spot he's running through. Surprised B hasn't drawn some walls, and now we're seeing some siege workshops. I don't know if he'll go for trebuchet or if he'll go for rams. I would think trebs just because English trebs are so good. But the Streltsy doing a good job on this drive-by gunning we're seeing here right now. Look at that. We have basically English stone walls being built on the north side. Is he setting up for trade? I mean, he can get away with his farm for a long time. I don't know if he's doing that or just trying to keep, starting to finally trying to keep the Rus army out of his base. But this walk through the middle has been pretty damaging. We actually see the roller shutters upgrade coming in for B, which shows that he's going to be going for some Springolds, probably to defend his Trebs. He's probably going to start a Springgold here and then maybe some Trebs to start working away at this. We see some hand cannoneers and longbows. Actually, I think he's trying to kill this these trebuchets. 1, 2 trebuchets and a mangonel. So we finally have some siege coming out for 3D Cat. Both players having a healthy bank. Well, I'd say that B is actually struggling with gold. So he might be trying to set up some trade, perhaps what we're seeing, because it doesn't seem like the enclosures is going to be enough right now. Okay, Streltsy have been able to do some damage, and we see, actually, look at the villager count. Cat is less villagers than B, which is kind of crazy to think about how this game has gone. He's going to clean up the rest of those Streltsy, though. Should be able to boom those villagers back, and, you know, 120, 130 villagers is a decent number to be sitting on anyways, but Springold's go down. Cat is mounting a defense, and there's plenty of game left to be played here. As the gold is run out on the map, B is going to be in some trouble in the gold department. I think he's considering setting up some traders, but I'm not sure. Do you do traders or just do more farmers? So when you're in the English, you know, enclosures isn't what it used to be at the very least, but it's still pretty good. Okay. If there's any civ to be out, also consider he's got, what, 4 relics? You know, 4 relics. Yeah, trade's a bad move for English. Thank you for the experts in the chat. So B is walling off, and Cat just continuing to siege. This game has been freaking crazy. 45-minute mark. Springold's coming out trying to stop the siege. Streltsy continuing to pour out. Look at Cat's economy. He is just doing just great right now. Plenty of resources. 15k food for a rainy day fund. I don't know if he needs to throw down more military production. Both players sitting on about 120 villagers, which is a nice amount to have when you've got, you know, this military. Now, pop-wise, B is sitting at pop max as of right now. Cat's sitting just underneath. We see Streltsy trying to do something, but that cannon placement and the Springolds, the English is just so good at defending in a situation like this. And we got Keeps on the other side, a Trebuchet going down, Mangonels trying to get some shots off, but the Springolds, well, he's got 1, 2, 3 Springolds now to defend. Yeah, he's gonna start picking this off. Oh, takes a shot. Is there a Roost Springold over here that I missed? I don't know what killed that. I don't know, maybe it was the tower. Up on the north side, oh my god. I think we just lost like 20 villagers there, but he could probably afford it. The wood is actually what he needs right now. Now, tree is sometimes a thing you run out of in late games, but this is a map that certainly has plenty of them. So, what do we have here? 3DB is about to go crazy with the ultimate ram push. If you've got a ram emote, throw it in the chat. I've got a wonderful ram emote designed for this very situation. The ramming is about to happen. Cat, though, he's got quite a defense. Now, one thing is awkward. If you guys have fought against this, your units will not prioritize attacking the rams in all situations. So it can be a little awkward when there's like an army pushing with rams. But horsemen, you can see, can be pretty good against this on the front line. Cat gonna be taking this fight. One ram, I think, went down there, and Streltsy on the back line. Does he have a mangonel back here? He does have a mango as well. Cat doing a good job defending this ram push. I don't think going to go as far as B wanted. And now we see this horseman charging forward, taking out the Springolds, which gives his siege some breathing room. Horseman also keeping those rams at bay. I'm loving seeing the rams in the chat. Thank you very much. Okay, and we see the keep going down. Oh my gosh, who's got the moving ram emote? Oh my gosh, I gotta get that. That's cop. Wow, that's like next level. I love that. I love that. Okay, right now we've got Cat holding on impressively, down on villagers for the first time in 45 minutes, I guess. And I hope you guys got yourself a cold drink and some snacks, because I'm not sure this game's ending anytime soon. The Rams made it seem like B was looking to really put on some pain. Now, his base is still wide open for raids. You could have run in. He's open for raiding season, but very interesting. This is where he decided to put the stone wall. Not to mention you could chop around this technically. I guess he does have the outpost. There we go, though. We said we might not see English trading, but B, setting up for English trade. I don't think he has a ton of options right now. I think it's just kind of what he has to do. He's running out of gold. But on this frontline, Cat just waiting. Almost 20k food in the bank. I still feel like at this point, like Cat has the economic, he's got the backing of the investors to win this war. It's gonna be a matter of how does he build his unit composition? How does he make his pushes? Both players sitting on 200 population for the most part. This has just been a hell of a game. To keep setting up defensively right now for B. We do see actually those upgrades for his horsemen. He's going to add some horsemen in the mix. I think he's realizing we're out of gold. We need to change up our trick. Now hold on I'm curious. He's got like 2,500 gold just sitting here, and he's setting up trade. Maybe he doesn't want to rely on that. There is gold left on the map. Funny enough. Okay, and right now B is going to be continuing to defend with his keeps now. I guess he's setting up. It looks like he's like making a transition into traders, despite the fact he does have some gold left on the map. Is there any trade going on for Cat? Not that I can see of quite yet. Granted, he's got enough resources in the bank for now. He does also have like, well, where's his hunting cabins? I mean, he does still have some passive amount of gold. B does have the 3 relics that's been helping him out quite a bit. So here we go. This is kind of the no man's land that's been. Imagine if the bodies didn't disappear after they died, because look at this. Look at this game. 50 minutes. And no end in sight. Well, I feel like this could be a potentially like entirely wood gathered type of game. Like, we say there's plenty of wood, but certainly B's been chopping through his wood, and this has been defended by this keep that was dropped like 30 minutes ago. There's a wooden fortress there. He's building a keep because he knows he's got to get access to this wood. That's going to be a problem. And I think Cat's got more resources kind of secured. Look at these wood lines into this later stage of the game, and that could really become quite a factor. Springald's coming out, Mangonel's ready, and Mangonel's going to be very effective in fights like this. A lot of unarmored units, but Springald's go to the front line and die. Cat loses his Springald's. He still has his Mangos, but here comes B Springald's now. He can snipe both those Mangonels. Look at the number of Streltsy. One Mangonel down, going to go for the second one. That one's very low on HP. Streltsy could pop it. They in fact do. Second Mangonel going to be still alive back here. And kind of feeling like a little bit of a stalemate. The Rams pushing in though, as Cat is slowly going to be creeping across the map. Horsemen, longbows, and a few hand cannoneers seems to be the primary composition. Not seeing any man-at-arms from B. I think he knows there's just so many Streltsy. The man-at-arms, your armored units just die so quickly in these situations. While this battle rages on, we've got some gathering in the woods here. B trying to secure a wood line because he has run out. The exceptions of straggler, I guess stealth forests, but you don't want to be mining the stealth forest. Okay, and right now we've got B continuing to fight into all of these Streltsy, even some archers in there. Another thing I wonder is like the gold. The fact that like B has kind of set himself up for gold in this late game. He has some trade going on. He's got enclosures. He's got 4 relics, and Cat is kind of relying on the little bit of gold he has right now. He's what, 300 gold income. You know, some passive gold from these hunting cabins, but I don't know. I'm worried like there could be a point where B can just be get the advantage. Okay, we see Trebuchet set up, but this is a slow push nonetheless. This is no massive attacks. There's not any raiding. I mean, maybe some raids here could be nice, but he can't do much. Even maybe a Mangon over the top. I don't know. But I feel like taking the English army head on is such a hard feat to do. Another army pushes forward. Rams for B pushing up. And look at this, just like trash army composition for 3DB. And we've got Streltsy in the mix. The horsemen seeming like they're maybe gaining some grounds. In these fights, you got to remember, Cat's losing more expensive units typically. The food still is the astonishing thing. 20,000 food in the bank. Just really crazy. The Rams, though, making some progress and looking like he might be able to take out a keep during all of this. Look at that. Is able to get some nice value, keep going down, and that's going to be big. Rams definitely poking. Is he going to be able to get it? Yep, down it goes. That Rus army, though, continuing to fight there in the middle, right on top of their fallen brethren. No boiling oil. That is a good point. Down it goes. The keep is gone, but Cat has cleaned up the rest of the English army. Is he going to be able to push back, though? Honestly, if I was Cat, I'd be taking out the towers, because that's like just buffing up this English army considerably when you think about that network of castles. And on the north side, the chop through has happened. We're going to have a little bit of a villager and tower war. He's got the bombard outpost set up, essentially. Cannon emplacements. So I think that puts him in a nice position. Now look at the economy. B's got a little more villagers, and like we mentioned, the gold stability. Look at that gold per minute. He's spending it, but he's also got it. Definitely in favor of B. This has been an insane game. I'm like trying to think back from an hour ago when we were in the feudal age, and it seemed like this game was over for B. Look at the trading, like a what 30,000 difference in trading, or you know, roughly a little bit below that. Math's hard. Okay, and now I don't know. It's still just like, look at all the carnage that's happened here. Continues to hold. He's secured the wood, but there's plenty of wood back here for Cat. Cat's probably scratching his head thinking, how do I beat this English army? 100 horsemen queued? Is that what you see? There are a lot of horsemen in queue. Okay. Let's see what happens. The Rus army starting to push out. What is going to happen next? The right of the Rohirrim, I guess. Lots of, what, 40 horsemen right now for Cat out here on the field. Some spearmen actually added into the mix there for B to combat this. Using archers, though, still using, you know, those archers into the late stages of this game. In addition to his Streltsy, the Streltsy numbers have fallen quite a bit. And what I wonder is, like, is there going to be a point where Cat runs out of gold and then suddenly the man-at-arms start showing back up? Is something you kind of wonder. Here come all those horsemen flooding out. He's just throwing. He's got so much food, but look at the wood. He's down to 12 wood, and if he suddenly loses he loses his military production, you're gonna start seeing some of this food sold off. I mean, B is still consistently keeping his resources coming on in. Look at this. This is going to be a bad spot to push in because he's going to be facing, these are stone towers. His cannon emplacement is going to be dealing out a lot of damage. Not to mention there's a keep behind it. It's just kind of a trap, I kind of feel. Oh my gosh. Oh, is he missing the university upgrade? Where is his university? Oh my gosh. What? Well, he was making nothing but Streltsy earlier, and now he doesn't really have the gold. Oh man, that's massive. I would imagine B, where is his university? Yeah, he has every single technology except for that, I guess. Okay. Unbelievable. I feel like Cat's his investors are starting to have question about this quarter's returns. Might start pulling their backing from this war effort. Cat pushing up with the horsemen, lots of archers behind it. Would be nice to have that upgrade, as we've mentioned, from the university. Would significantly help. But then you start to come into the lion's den. I mean, it's easier to win the fights when you're in your base with your repopulating army faster. Now he's getting back to B's territory, and he hasn't been over to this side of the map in quite some time. We see Cat actually dealing with some raids from B down on the south side. If he starts getting some horsemen through and raiding, that would be big trouble. He does have some wood. I would imagine he's done a little bit of trading for her, but I think he's repositioned his villagers over here. 115 villagers versus 125 villagers, and you look at the pop still. B just staying at max pop. Cat sitting just below right now by about 20 units. So B with the hand cannoneers as well, he's got the gold to afford it, and this is starting to get scary. Starting to get scary. Down south side, horsemen running around, and now he has to commit some of his troops to chasing those horsemen. You just wonder when the English push starts to come across mid, when you're chasing raids all over your base. That's his goal. Look at this. He's just trying to find villagers here and there. Now, the food, not going to be a big problem right now. My gosh, look at all those farms. But the distraction, the less units on the front line, that's going to be the more important thing. And Springgold's able to defend this army from any siege, and we're not going to be seeing any siege out of Cat anytime soon. His gold is just too low, not to mention his wood. And B's in a spot Look at his bank. He is in a healthy situation. He's got a few traders. How many traders does he have anyways? 11 traders. So not too many, just enough to have that gold coming in to supplement his farming. And Cat turtling back to his keep. Looks like B is going to reposition his army, going to try to take a nice trade here. Looks like those raids have mostly been squashed. Yeah, what? At some point, you're going to just see B turn the man and arm switch back on, and like these archers, good luck. Going to be in trouble. And I think he's going to wait, though. Wood actually low for B right now, but he has plenty of wood available to gather up in the north side. Doesn't really look like Cat has anything to defend against this. Okay, and on the south side, Rams moving in. What is this? B has snuck through on the south side. We missed it. We've got siege workshops and horsemen galore starting to come on in, and the bigger problem is just like B's going to, or Cat's going to have to like split his forces off here, and oh my gosh, look at the number of dead horsemen there right now. It's just crazy. He's got to split his army, and the Rams are going to start pouring in. Now, I'd say that, but B doesn't have a ton of wood right now. It looks like he's actually, I think, maybe just bought some wood, which is crazy to think about. Okay, it's Ram season. Oh my gosh. This is going to get crazy. B says, okay, we've hit the 1 hour mark. It's time to introduce you to a few siege workshops. And look, this is what I talked about. Like, these horsemen should be able to easily kill the Rams, but if you don't like explicitly click on them, they'll run by in a lot of scenarios. He's actually building a wall and doing an okay job so far of stopping this incursion, but it's just kind of softened up the front line for B to make a little bit of progress. He's pushing kind of towards the south side. No siege really here, though. Actually getting an upgrade for those knights. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Knights, I thought man ours would be good. He starts sending knights, like, out here, and he's not going to be able to... Cat won't be able to afford the... basically, the Streltsy he'll need to deal with them. Oh boy, this is going to get a little crazy. Okay, B ready to hit the GG button as he's going to start training knights. You see knights entering the battlefield. He's got his own hand cannoneers as well, so B definitely economy doing well, but wood and gold, he's spending everything he's got. Cat still has a healthy amount of food in the bank. B does have 4 of the relics. Not all of them, but 4 of them. Plus he's got farms and he's got a little bit of trade. We get some knights coming in. He needs to actually take out this wall. The wall has been rebuilt. Whew. This has been a heck of a game. This keep has been here like 30 minutes. This keep has been sitting here. He has had Trebs try to kill it. It does not go down. Okay. Somehow B's got a stone income? Where is he getting stone? Did he buy stone? And like that, after an hour of gameplay, a feudal age that looked like B was definitely going to be losing in this matchup, B holds on, trades more efficiently with the English, and is able to get the victory and will take this series. Best of 3 goes in favor of 3DB, but it certainly was not an easy one. And if you didn't catch the beginning stage of this game, look at this. Cat just had an overwhelming villager lead throughout this. Look at the military graph. Early on in the feudal age, his army got wiped out multiple times, and Cat was sitting in a super favorable position at this point, but he didn't push this. Well, he did. He pushed into the town center, and he was able to, B was able to basically get his castle age longbow upgrades and defend against this. And from this point on, this is where it was like, B has a chance in this game. And he just continued to pump out military while Cat decided to go for a fast move into the age 4. But the longbows were really able to deal with the fact that it was a Streltsy spam. And while Streltsy were very strong, when you get into a game that goes into be an hour long, Cat chewed through all of his gold. He didn't set up trade, and B was basically just able to, over time, just whittle. B was able to whittle Cat down. What a crazy series. I hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. Let me know about it down in the comments on YouTube and Twitch if you enjoyed it and want to subscribe. I enjoyed that as well. Let's find another one to pick up. Thanks for watching.